following is a presentation of TFNN. The Power Trading Hour with your host, David White. Call now, toll free at 1-877-927-6648. Internationally at 727-445-1044. Now, David White.
And welcome all to another exciting edition of the Power Trading Hour with me, your humble, lovable, and squeezably soft host. Once more, into the breach do we go, dear friends.
The following takes place between 2 p.m. and 3 p.m.
And what do we have going on? Well, we had a 3-day weekend. We are back. Of course, as always, you can call me at 877-927-6648. Email me at path@tfnn.com or put a message in the den. So as we start off the day, S&P a little higher, 9.6 points higher at 2360.76. We got to 2366.24. I think on the last couple of days, we've had about 2.2 billion shares as we've started the show. Just a little off that, just a tiny bit, 2.14 billion shares on the New York Consolidated Tape. And I don't know what else you can say about it. If you were thinking about being bearish, this is about the best setup you could get. Light volume into Friday's close, a push higher. You've got options expiration, so you're going to get one more day, which is today. Tomorrow, probably going to be they always called it the rubber match. I never played whatever card game that was that came from, so I never really understood it. But going to be probably a fairly big day in the market tomorrow. We've got some earnings. We'll go through that. And it just takes a little time for the market to gain momentum after a 3-day weekend. So we're going to also be thinking about that and what's going on this week. But up 10 points in the S&P cash. Volume has been good. I'm going to say good, but not great. Any of these days, as we've gone above 2,300, I've been looking for a 5 billion share day to give you a sign of strength. We've never gotten that. About the best we've gotten is about 3.9 billion shares. So this has been a rally with just kind of tepid volume, not so low that the spine of the market breaks in any kind of incredible fashion so far. What you do have to kind of really think about, though, in this market is when this market does snap. Very few shorts, almost all the way from back at 2250. Everybody's been bullish. And the question is, what happens when there are no more bulls to go and throw cash at the market? We saw that in the last earnings cycle when we looked at Amazon, Facebook, a lot of those stocks. Literally everybody couldn't see how the stock didn't double. And, of course, they pulled back. Kind of thinking the same thing around here. We've got a market that just has just about no concept of lower prices, which generally means that you've got people that just can't wait to throw their money at the market at the high, can't wait, no patience to buy a pullback because, of course, the market only goes straight to the sky, just like Jack and the Beanstalk. But I do digress. 2.15 billion shares as we start the show. And, of course, we always like to get off on a good foot with a little bit of history.
That it's all just a little bit of history repeating.
On this day in 1947, Edward Land, founder of the Polaroid Company, demonstrates the instant camera to 650 scientists assembled at the annual meeting of the Optical Society of America. Never before has it been possible to develop a snapshot in a single minute. The Land instant camera sells for initial price of almost $90. Although Polaroid loses money on it at first, it goes on to make the company one of the great growth stocks of post-war America. And, of course, this was, I think a lot of people, I don't know how many people do and do not know and understand business models. but this was, of course, one of the bigger ones to be a poster child for later products, especially in Silicon Valley. But they sold the camera at a loss and, of course, made it up with very high margins on the film. And I think that's probably the first time since the razor blade model that actually truly worked in any kind of great fashion. The downside, though, was they knew and started working on digital cameras in the mid-'80s. But we're a little early on the technology. And the people that ended up running it at the very end really didn't know what they had with digital photography, never figured it out, and eventually went bankrupt. And now there's a handful of products out there. I think Sunbeam is one of them. Polaroid's another one. Is RCA one? Does RCA actually exist, or is it just a name they slap on things? But that's what Polaroid is now, isn't it? Just a name they slap on things because they weren't able to go from the instant photography, semi-instant, 1 minute, to the long. Kodak, the exact same thing. And that is the problem when companies really do not continue to grow. They continue to stagnate. And then when the moment of truth arrives, no one has the spine or the political will in a company to actually say, you know what, if we don't do this, we're going to die. Once a year at Intel, they have a meeting that they call if we don't eat our own lunch, someone else will. And they talk about actually cutting prices on high margin products to make sure to keep other people out. Always kind of an interesting idea, but why some companies like Intel have failed to really take a giant hit, why others just seem to have no ability to adapt. I can think of Sears in the retail business. Things weren't going to be great, but they were probably 10 times worse than they had to be by not adapting early on around 2000, and now 15 years later. Basically, what? Kind of like a doctor giving somebody 1 year to live, and they're still living 3 years later. You just wonder, you're not going to be surprised. It's like one of those big Hollywood stars. You're not going to be surprised when they say someone died. You're probably going to be more like, they were still alive? I didn't even think that guy was still alive. He must be 150. Well, on this day in 1947, they start a pretty profitable company, but another one of these companies that I wouldn't say failed to understand being disruptive. Of course, they disrupted Kodak. Kodak never really had a competitive product to it either. They kind of both sat on their own sides of the aisle. But my parents had one. It was a pretty good product. We talked about Snap last week. They're starting the road show today. I don't know if there's anything else more that I can add to this other than they're going to try to keep this market higher. The question is whether or not they can sell Snap in this market for the $25 billion valuation. We will learn a lot about the market in the next few weeks based on this behemoth going out on an IPO. We'll be back in a minute.
TFNN is excited about our new software charting program, The Art of Timing the Trade Charts. In collaboration with Tom O'Brien and using his best-selling book, The Art of Timing the Trade, Your Ultimate Trading Mastery System, David White has programmed an outstanding piece of software that will complement any trader's methodology. Using this first-of-its-kind program, The Art of Timing the Trade Charts allows you to scan thousands of stocks for Fibonacci formation setups, including Gartley's, ABC's, butterflies, and much more. The Art of Timing the Trade Charts is designed to help you when scouring the markets for stocks just beginning to form the trading patterns that many investors spend days, weeks, or even months searching to find. And right now, we're offering licenses available at only $79 a month. We are so confident that you're going to love this new charting software that will even give you a 30-day unconditional money-back guarantee. Don't miss out on this incredible new piece of software. Get your copy of The Art of Timing the Trade Charts today by visiting TFNN.com.
Tiger TV is an exciting way to experience TFNN programming. See high-definition video, giving you crystal clear charts, as well as seeing some of the faces of TFNN's highly acclaimed financial experts with crisp, full-fidelity sound. Catch Tom O'Brien, John Logan, Steve Rhodes, Basil Chapman, Larry Pesavento, Think or Swim, David White, Andy Hecht, and Daryl Martin in crystal clear, high-definition audio and video. Tiger TV, exclusively at TFNN.com. Platinum, grains, crude oil, gold, copper, cattle, hogs, gasoline, natural gas, coffee, cotton, cocoa, and sugar. These are just some of the commodities mentioned in the most recent issue of Andy Hecht's Techno-Mental Commodity Report. Andy publishes his weekly newsletter every Thursday morning, where he breaks down the commodity market and provides his subscribers with specific trading recommendations based on his trading methodology. By signing up for a free trial to the Techno-Mental Commodity Report, you'll get a full 30 days to try out this powerful newsletter service and see for yourself the types of trades Andy has recommended for his subscribers. When you sign up for a 30-day free trial, you're under no obligation to pay anything. And should you decide to continue, you will lock in the low rate of only $79 a month. Sign up right now for the Techno-Mental Commodity Report and make sure you're ready to catch the next big trade in commodities. For more information and to get started today, visit the front page of TFNN.com. Many of our new listeners have heard about the Tiger's Den, but wondered, what exactly is it? The Tiger's Den is a lively community where professional traders and investors can meet, exchange ideas and information in a comfortable, moderated atmosphere. Hear all of your favorite TFNN shows, plus see all the charts as they happen, live during those shows, and have access to all those charts. You can test drive the Tiger's Den, absolutely free, for 30 days. It will greatly enrich your knowledge of these markets. Details on the Tiger's Den are on the front page of TFNN.com. Dave takes your phone calls now. Toll free at 1-877-927-6648. Internationally at 727-445-1044.
And we're up 10 points on the S&P cash. $1 at 101.40. TLT 120.22. It seems like there's some buyers under 120, a lot of sellers over 121. The dollar just seems, there used to be a toy that my friends' kids used to play with, and I think it was called Weeblos. Now, I may be confusing this with Boy Scouts, because there was Weeblos in that, but it was like Weeblos, you can knock them over, but they'll still stand up. Kind of made me think of that for some reason today with the dollar. And that, man, they just keep hammering the thing. And you can knock them over, but it just pops right back up, doesn't it? The dollar. King dollar. You got to love it. After the bell tonight, Air Methods Corp. First Solar, Lazy Boy, which will give us a little bit of read into housing, which I think we've got some more housing earnings tomorrow. Newmont Mining, Regulus Therapeutics, Rocket Fuel, the kind of failed IPO, and Texas Roadhouse, the restaurant. Give us a little bit of idea how things are going. And I guess we're still close enough to Christmas. A lot of that is going to be baked in the Christmas business. Before the bell tomorrow, we've got Chico's Fast Foods, Garmin's, Holy Frontier, Mobileye, Six Flags Entertainment, TJX Companies, and Toll Brothers. My guess is we're kind of close to about as good as it gets in the housing business. And with 3 more rate hikes coming down the path this year, I'll be very interested to see how Toll Brother reacts to its earnings tomorrow. After the bell tomorrow night, Adaptus Health, Bankrate, Bluebird Bio, Boston Beer Company, cereal malt beverages, Cheesecake Factory, Jack in the Box, L Brands, Square, and Tesla. Tesla, the souffle of all stocks one day. we'll just wait for all the air to fall out of it. And that's kind of it. Not a whole lot more coming on. We'll get to charts. Again, you can give me a call or email me, and we'll be glad to talk about what you have. I think I got one or two emails we'll try to get to after we look at a few of these. But you can email me too at path@tfnn.com. Weebles. Oh, not Weeblos. Again, kind of making me think of my days in the Boy Scouts. Yeah, what can you say? Let's see, looking through some stuff. Yeah, a lot of. I tell you what, for easy money to be made, IPOs, especially these big IPOs, it is absolutely horrendous the amount of money these Wall Street firms can make kicking one of these things out the door. If they can get it higher after the lockup and they can sell their shares off of it. And, of course, they're big on flogging these companies. Question is just whether or not this one passes the smell test. A lot of people, including, and we covered it last week, including many of the funds that have to do with, what do you call them? The government, what do you call them? The government retirement funds. That'd be union pension funds, that kind of stuff. Many of them, I think over 12 or 15, have already sent letters saying that they will not buy the Snap IPO unless they get a few board seats and some votes, which you will not get if you buy Snap. And I can see the upside to it, but I can see a lot more downside, especially when CEOs go nuts. And I only can think of I can't remember who said it, but absolute power corrupts absolutely. And unfortunately, I have a feeling that a CEO that totally unbridled could certainly be that kind of person that becomes corrupted 100%. Let's talk about some stocks. CERL. This one. Cracker Barrel, up a little, not a whole lot. Oh, did we actually get it? Yeah, there we go. Gapped down a little, let me put it that way, on earnings. Supports about 155, volumes about, well, don't know why my phone went off, but it did. Cracker Barrel, CBRL. Black record state has no voting rights. Yeah, I'm not a big fan of these non-voting right companies at all. Anyway, Cracker Barrel down. Decent volume out here, back to 155. So what else do we have? Did I do something wrong here? Oh, yes, I did. Okay, Dillard's, the department store, mall store, down, fairly decent volume today. This looks like it's going to go retest its low when it dropped the chalupa on January 30th and said earnings were going to be rather poor. 53.61 was the low there. It was 750,000 shares. Today, already 1.3 million shares. I don't think through that low just yet. What else do we have out here? EW, this one. Edwards Life Sciences, a nice gap up. About halfway into this gap, down with monster volume. From the 2nd of February, this came down with 8.9 million shares, up with just about 3 million shares, about 95-ish. Out here, be about halfway fill of that, and where you're going to probably find some fairly strong resistance. Another gap up on Home Depot. This one's fading a little bit off here. Got to 145.69, but not exactly sure what's going on that. KHC, That was a little different. Mobileye kind of gap back up to this gap, double gap, going to, what is that, August 23rd, and the gap down on September 12th at almost 10 million shares. Came right back up to this one with 11 million shares on February 13th, which is fairly decent volume, but just about 5 million shares so far today. Mondelez, a lot of action in these big food companies, and little bank shots out here on many of them. Up today on 9 million shares, is that right? It is. Down on 29 million shares. All about a swirl of takeover talk all around that one. MNTA, which is Momenta Pharmaceuticals, this one down on monstrous volume today, back down through the gap up. And again, kind of just playing around these gaps, 15.5 bucks. Well, it's filled the gap, but it's going to do so on a great deal more volume. MNTA, the symbol on this. We'll be back shortly.
The Path of Least Resistance is David White's daily trading newsletter, and if you're looking for active trading ideas, then now's a perfect time for a 30-day free trial to this powerful daily trading advisory service. David uses his years of trading experience to offer his subscribers his trading ideas each morning in his Path of Least Resistance newsletter. Using a combination of equity trades along with options, David keeps his subscribers up to date with all pertinent market information with intraday afternoon updates when warranted. Don't miss out on this great chance to get a 30-day free trial to David's daily newsletter, The Path of Least Resistance, with no obligation to pay anything. David has been delivering solid recommendations for his subscribers recently, and if you'd like to see the type of newsletter he delivers every morning, then visit the front page of TFNN and you'll find The Path of Least Resistance under Trading Newsletters. For all the details and to start your 30-day free trial today, log on to TFNN.com now. Biotech is booming, but for how long? Whether you think the biotech bull has room to run or has run its course, trade LABU or LABD. Directions Daily S&P Biotech 3 times bull and bear ETFs. Visit directioninvestments.com/biotech today. An investor should consider the investment objectives, risks, charges, and expenses of the Direction shares carefully before investing. The prospectus and summary prospectus contain this and other information about Direction shares. To obtain a prospectus or summary prospectus, please contact Direction shares at 866-476-7523. The prospectus or summary prospectus should be read carefully before investing. An investment in the funds is subject to risk, including the possible loss of principal. The funds are designed to be utilized only by sophisticated investors such as traders and active investors. Distributor Foreside Fund Services, LLC. Has the current market volatility continued to stop you out of trades when the market spikes against you? Now is the perfect time to open up an account with Nadex. Nadex, the North American Derivatives Exchange, is a brand new, completely regulated Chicago-based exchange, and unlike most other exchanges, Nadex allows you to trade directly through them with direct market access when using their completely free trading platform, which also features real-time charts and full customization capability. One of the advantages of trading with Nadex in volatile markets is that your risk is always capped and you have the ability of keeping your trades open even when the market spikes against you. Nadex is completely brand new with a line of unique trading products that are unavailable anywhere else. See how it works at nadex.com. That's NADEX.com. Or click on the Nadex banner on the front page of TFNN.com. Futures and options trading involves risk and may not be appropriate for all investors.
This segment is brought to you by Think or Swim. For more information, just click the Think or Swim banner on the front page of TFNN.com.
And as we come back, yes, I know it's Weeblos now. Got a lot of email. You can email me too. Just don't tell me it's not Weeblos, but Weebles. Wobble, but they don't fall down. That's what I was trying to remember. I've got it now. I really do. No more emails necessary on that subject. Dan wants to know about the SOX or the SMHs. He's in Lutz, Florida today. And a little pop out here today. Not a lot of volume. He says he's getting ready to stop out. I have no idea what price he got in on. But man, you got a light volume today. I'm not a big fan of stopping out with no volume. We'll see how this thing comes in at the end of the day. But I would probably, if you're still under your stop, I would still hold it. You didn't really have a good signal to put a top in, but you certainly have no volume out here in this one today, and that probably a pretty good, at least short-term sign. Did we talk about HD already? Home Depot, nice gap up. Gave back some of that. KHC, which is the Kraft Heinz company. Kind of a big pop in this one. On Friday, of course, a lot of speculation and rumors. Gave a lot of that back with a gap down today. I don't know how you can trade these if you can at all. It's all about a lot of cloak and dagger stuff behind the curtain. Mobileye, what do we do here? Came right back up to this double gap that goes back to the September 12th and the gapped up of August 23rd. And not enough volume out here, really good signal. We talked about Mondelez. What else do we have? Teva Pharmaceuticals for a little bounce out here. This basically filled this high volume gap down that goes back to the 6th of January. 33.8 million shares, going into it with about 20 million shares today here. So again, a lot of these biotechs are getting right up to from fairly significant resistance levels. Tiffany's, man, they are flogging this one on Wall Street, trying to tell everybody that suddenly they're going to kind of be selling downstream product. And I don't know over the time how well this has ever worked out for anybody in the jewelry business. There's something kind of special about Tiffany, and that kind of is the same thing with Mercedes. Now that you can get a Mercedes for $26,000, does that kind of devalue the rest of the Mercedes? I think at least at some level it does, at least in the mid-priced ones. On the very expensive ones, almost like a different car company. But this one, very interesting, just coming into a absolute mess of downside out here as it's getting ready to fill some of these gaps when we go back. These gaps actually are just monstrous. And, man, if anybody's held it this long, I can't imagine how quick they're going to be pulling the mouse button on the sell. This thing gapped down on the 12th of 2015. That's January 12th of 2015 with 10 million shares, and it just kind of continued to work its way down to a double bottom, down to 56 bucks. You've got a pretty good wrap up here. I still don't understand a lot of the hype of the last couple of days and saying they're going downstream, therefore I should buy it. I would just be the opposite. UNG taking another hit today. Just very tough to get this thing off the floor. It has filled this gap down to 650 today. And my guess is that you're going to see that $5.78 low from March 3rd tested fairly quickly. You've already blown through the November 9th low with 22.4 million shares with 30 million shares already. Even the 578 low of March 3rd of 2016 only has 20 million shares. So, man, I don't know if this can even hold at that $5.78 low. Again, the problem is there is natural gas everywhere. For a trade, interesting. I've never seen the real long-term idea in natural gas and the fact that they continue to throw natural gas away because they can't find ways to get it to market. I'd hate to be in, especially now when you really see the rig count every Friday from, I forget the company now, Baker Hughes. The rig count goes up every week, 4, 5, 7. Each one of those, probably at least half of those, has got some kind of natural gas component coming off of it, adding to the supply. And, of course, a rather mild winter yet again. And I think some of those highs in natural gas over the last couple of years on really bitter winters, not so much last year and even less this year, becomes problematic. The best thing for this would be a few of those pipelines and exporting a great deal of this natural gas to get the price up off the floor. But normally, low prices are a great way to solve low prices, except that this is the byproduct of crude, and it's still worth enough money to add a few more rigs out there, which only makes natural gas get punished more and more. And there is a meme on Wall Street, which is always be, if you're long crude, go short natural gas. Because if natural gas is going up, then you probably actually have less crude and it will go up. Natural gas going lower out there tends to mean, that you've got even more crude and it will too go down. But there's probably not a better correlation to being long crude and short natural gas than the last 5 or 6 years, and Wall Street has camped all over that trade. What else do we have out here? Walmart stores, nice gap up today on earnings this morning. Volume is good at 17.3 million shares. Let's go to a little shorter time frame on that. Already through the volume of December 14th, they're saying that they're doing rather well in shipping, or not in shipping, but in online sales and people picking up products when they come to Walmart. I can say that I bought a couple of things. The experience has not been great. That is, I go there to pick my stuff up. It still hasn't been picked up. No one knows where it is. I've done it a couple of times, and I just say, well, I'm going to go shop. I'll be back in 15 minutes. Please find it while I'm waiting. Just don't go wait on somebody else. And they invariably wait on somebody else. I come back, and they're still not and don't have the product. They don't have that thing geared up. And I'm wondering how many people are like me that have had bad experience on it, but they've been able to get at least a few people to try. 17 million shares compared to 9 million shares, but not holding the high. We'll have to watch this. Be back in a minute.
If you're an active trader looking for that extra edge when it comes to trading and investments, then now is a great time to get a 2-week free trial to Tom O'Brien's daily market letter, Market Insights. Tom O'Brien's daily newsletter, Market Insights, comes out every market day at around 9:30 a.m. and provides Tom's daily commentary on the broad market, including the Dow, NASDAQ, and S&P, plus specific trade recommendations. There's even an update published most afternoons to keep you informed about the day's market activity. He'll give you the entry price, price target, and stop price of each stock and option trade. With Market Insights, there's nothing left to guessing. For all the details and to get your 2-week free trial to Market Insights started today, visit TFNN.com.
Today, it's hard to tell if the economy is coming or going. Regardless, I want my money going in the direction I choose. If that's your stance as well, then you want to know how Everbank can help keep your money thriving just the way you want. Is growing your money a priority? Everbank is committed to a yield pledge promise to pay high yields on your checking, money market, and CD balances. Looking to diversify? Everbank ingeniously developed accessible ways to spread your money around the world into foreign currencies and even non-FDIC insured metals. And when it comes to your wealth, they bring a highly experienced and global perspective to help you manage it. Everbank's financial philosophy flies in the face of the status quo. They believe your money's performance should not be determined by today's economic circumstances, but by the drive to rise above them and create opportunities that favor your objectives. If that excites you like it does me, visit everbank.com/TFNN to find out what they can do for you. Again, that's everbank.com/TFNN. Visit them today. Everbank is a member FDIC and equal housing lender.
TFNN is excited to offer a brand new piece of market scanning software unlike anything the industry has ever seen. John Logan and his team have spent years developing their market profile tools to finally be able to release the TAS Profile Scanner Plus. And right now, you can get a 2-week trial absolutely free just by visiting TFNN.com and providing us your name and email address. The TAS Profile Scanner Plus is the premier market profile-based scanner in the industry. Powered by the acclaimed TAS proprietary algorithms, this feature-rich scanner is a standalone desktop software that instantly filters over 2,500 global financial markets such as stocks, ETFs, commodity futures, and Forex. Within 3 minutes of signing up, you can have the software downloaded and running on your computer with a complete roadmap of market indicators and inflection points to trade off using the TAS Profile Scanner Plus. Sign up today and try this amazing piece of software by visiting TFNN.com.
This segment is brought to you by TFNN. Test drive all the newsletters for free at TFNN.com.
And we're back. Ameren Corporation hitting a new high and a little bit of volume out here today. $53.40 on the January 6th high, $63.40. 2.2 million shares are ready. Oh, that was actually, that's back a little bit. Volume up here today, not that much, 715,000. Oh, there it is, 1.8 million shares on Friday, but going up. Not a lot of volume here. Actually, this is a little counterintuitive, isn't it? You had 2 million share day. Okay. Within 0.5% of the high, you had 2.2 million shares, so not bad volume, but man, not a good breakout here today. To Apollo Investments, we'll look at this one a little bit longer. Making a new high, not a lot of volume. Last high, $6.25, 3 million shares. Friday, had 900,000 shares. Today, 1.1 million. Still just going back into this longer-term gap. See if we can find this thing that goes back to June 19th, 2015, with some fairly big volume. What else do we have? Amazon breaking its high. Volume is going to probably be in line to what volume was on October 6th at 3.46 million shares. Today, just 2.6 million shares. My guess is by the end of the day, this thing's going to just match the volume of October 6th. I was talking to John Logan after his show today, maybe in the 10 or 11 o'clock, something like that. We were kind of hitting the ball around a little bit, thinking about Amazon. He was always worried about whether or not a tweet from Trump would come out and cause a big flap on this. And I said, most of these tweets go away in 2 or 3 days. He said to me, the big overhang on Amazon will and always will be that the Justice Department files a monopoly case on them. Every single day, they get a little bit more into a completely vertical market, and that's exactly what those laws, the antitrust laws, were designed to curb. And I don't know how many more different businesses can these guys get into. I said, the only thing Amazon's not doing is buying mines, bringing up the ore to make the product that they sell and ship and deliver. I mean, these guys, there isn't one little thing that they're not in. And my guess is that the company gets split apart. And kind of just spitballing, I'm wondering if Jeff Bezos isn't doing this deliberately to bust the company up so he can get his cash out. Probably the best thing that happened to Bill Gates was the antitrust laws. He probably never would have been able to leave the company, and or split it apart and sell his shares if he hadn't had the antitrust case against him. I'm wondering if Amazon is not pushing this as just that, hoping that they get sued so that Bezos can cash out. It may be the only way he can. The Trump tweet decay. I like that. Just the old tweet isn't what it used to be. We can make a song to that one. Aether Systems. What else do we have out here? Some other stocks looking at here. Aspen Technology, AZPN. This thing had been going up against its January 26th high of $56.64. 400,000 shares on Thursday. Friday, 730,000 shares today. Just 261,000 shares so far, as these many of these are just kind of gasping for a lot of wind. The old Twitter isn't what you used to be. It wasn't what you used to be. There's a lot of songs that can come out on that. Up 12 points on the S&P cash volume, 2.37 billion shares. So we'll keep an eye on that. Okay. Bonanza Creek. I don't see a lot in that one. Amplified Snack Brands. BlackRock. It's a bad day at BlackRock. BKCC is the symbol. 600,000 shares on December 14th. Wanted to see this thing go through with some volume. About 314,000 shares so far. So with an hour and 15 minutes left, but only about half the volume. See what's nothing in Buffalo Wild Wings, Avis. Just seeing how some of these stocks react. Global Blood Therapeutics, GBT. I wanted to see this one go through the June 10th high of last summer. 27.99 had 4.74 million shares. Today, just 1.6 million shares. So, like I said, a lot of these just kind of breaking out, but certainly no volume today. Healthcare services, last high at $41.78 came on July 12th of last summer. 41.78, 540,000 shares. 300 and what do we got? 300 and some odd thousand shares on Friday. But today out here, just 111,000 shares as we break through new highs by a name. Not good. HGV. Let's see what else we have out here. Biotech. ICLR. Icon. We talked about this one probably 3 or 4 times last week, and it not really giving the kind of volume you would think it would want as it was breaking through the October 24th high of 2016, 85.74, 1.15 million shares. Only on Thursday, 570,000 shares, reversed with 351,000 shares to a higher high on Friday. Today, 360,000 shares again today. Got to keep an eye on that one because that looks like that could get ugly in a hurry. Ironwood Pharmaceuticals. Check my email here. I think I got a couple. Okay. Well, we'll get to those in the next segment. Ironwood Pharmaceuticals, IRWD. Another one hitting a high, breaking through the November 11th high at 1689 that had 2.16 million shares. And, of course, you got 1.2 million shares on the 16th. But this thing, I mean, you had one day, and actually that was the down day that you got over 1 million shares. So going into that previous high with half the volume, LYV, which is Live Nation, breaking to new highs. You wanted to see about 4 million shares through the July 29th. You broke that, came back into that trading range on November 14th with this 2.8 million shares. We've gone back through that Live Nation high again today with 631,000 shares. So this is getting kind of in some very rarefied air. I'm wondering if earnings aren't coming up here in the next day or two. Take a look to February 23rd. So this thing is just pushing on light volume and very light volume. This one looks like it could be setting up for a major disappointment into earnings. McKesson Corporation back here at its gap down with monstrous volume from the 28th of October when it came down on 28 million shares, banging against this gap. It's a third attempt out here, and looks like the third attempt with lighter volume. We'll talk about this and more in the last action-packed segment of the Power Trading Hour.
Tom O'Brien's weekly gold letter, The Gold Report, gives complete and concise coverage of the entire gold market. Inside, you'll get Tom's commentary on gold, the dollar, the rand, the bond, the XAU, the HUI, and detailed coverage of nearly 25 mining stocks. He'll give you the entry price, price target, and stop price of each stock trade. The Gold Report is a long-term newsletter where the focus is on building real wealth through the management of a successful portfolio of gold stocks. With a lifetime of knowledge and almost 12 years of writing his informative weekly newsletter, The Gold Report, Tom O'Brien can provide you with the important market information to help you make better trades in the gold market. Don't let the next bull run in gold pass you by. To get a month-long free trial to The Gold Report, an $85 value, visit the front page of TFNN.com today.
David White's newsletter, The Technology Insider, is focused like a laser on finding the next big things in technology. If you had invested only $10,000 in Microsoft in 1986, you'd have been a millionaire by 2000. Disruptive technology like Microsoft's is the key to these massive long-term profits, and the Tech Insider is the vehicle from TFNN to capitalize on these opportunities. This is the go-to newsletter that identifies, monitors, and profits on mostly little-known cutting-edge companies with great long-term prospects. David's experience is as an inventor of Emmy-winning animation products for TV and Hollywood that propelled a company public. Match that with 14 years as a full-time trader, and he's uniquely qualified to guide you through the light-speed world of ever-evolving high-tech. If you're ready to ride the next big technology bull market for less than $40 per month, log on to TFNN.com and get your 2-week free trial to the Technology Insider. Get in on the ground floor of the next big thing today.
Hi, I'm Steve Rhodes, host of the Trader's Edge, heard daily at TFNN.com and author of Mastering Probability, a daily investment and trading newsletter service that I send out each morning by 8 a.m. My morning newsletter service covers exactly what the markets have been doing since last night's close, providing you with an edge on your trading day ahead. You get actionable trading ideas, including the exact entry, stop, and profit targets. Plus, I'll teach you the patterns and hidden market correlations that will make you a better trader. As a subscriber, you'll gain access to my 90-minute money management workshop, where I'll teach you the secrets that'll save your assets. The bottom line, I've got your back, including a 30-day money-back guarantee. See for yourself the type of analysis I provide each trading day by signing up for Mastering Probability today. With nothing to lose, this is an offer you should not pass on. Mastering Probability can be found under Trading Newsletters on the front page of TFNN.com.
Catch Tom O'Brien, professional trader and educator, founder of TFNN. Also, a special guest on CNBC. Tom will bisect and dissect the markets. The Tom O'Brien Show, next on TFNN.
Volume 2.42 billion shares. So volume kind of probably be a little lighter than it was on Friday, which is kind of interesting. Of course, you did have options expiration today. You've got a little bit of options rollover action happening. And, tomorrow probably a much bigger deal. Some bigger earnings after the bell. I think we're probably going to see a little bit more out here. TLT down 11 cents, although it was down a great deal more. The dollar, of course, 101.34, still in that 101 range, which would suggest it gets back into the 102 to 104 range. What else do we have going on out here? I don't know. Let's take a look at a few more stocks before the end of the show. Paycom Software been banging at these highs. Actually, some decent volume on Friday. has still not broken through. PAYC, PFE, which is, of course, Pfizer, been banging against this high $33 range. This is the third time. First time was 67 million shares on November 10th at 33.83. Got a second attempt, 13 cents light, on January 6th with 37 million shares, so about half the volume. On Friday, we got into it with 34 million shares. So you had some decent, a little better volume off the January 24th low. But still, you had 45 million shares on the 15th of February. But as you get back up to these highs, the volume has been falling out over the last few days. Other stocks of interest, Splunk, this one has gotten back up to its recent high, the August 15th high of last summer, 65.75, 1.6 million shares. On Friday, you had 1.25 million shares. Today, about 1 million shares so far. So probably not a short out here. It is filling the gap, but certainly this thing does not have a sign of strength and blowing through those previous highs. You also have kind of an untested low back to $50.64, a dangerous stock. Black & Decker Stanley, bouncing around these highs. I think it's got earnings coming up fairly soon. Total System Services, TSS is a symbol, filling its gap yet again. But, you came down with monstrous volume on, August 27th of last summer, 4.7 million shares. Tried to get into it with 1.3 million shares on January 18th. Went back down, bounced for the previous sign of strength. But you had a little bit of energy on the way back down. Bounced back to this high. Got about 631,000 shares. This thing is basically filling half that gap. So another one that is fairly dangerous. Ulta Salon. This thing's been banging around at the highs with no volume now. Today, at least. What is this? 300,000 shares. And if you if you were being good, you pay the December 2nd high of 274 at 4.1 million shares, or even being very nice, the August 24th high, 278, which this thing basically touched today. That had 1.3 million shares, and you're still with 300,000 shares. So this 278 seems to be a very tough range. Trying to see if this one has an earnings date out soon. Thought it had already come out a little while ago, March 9th. So we got a little while to look forward to that. As always, so when you can, not when you have to. And we'll see you here tomorrow. Same bat channel, same bat time.
Larry Pesavento has just started his brand new service, Fibonacci 24/7, and he's already delivering content to his subscribers on a daily basis when the market's opened and even on weekends. Each Monday, you'll receive Larry's written report that provides detailed commentary and a summary on the charts and videos that Larry sends out. And throughout the week, when warranted, Larry will send out via charts or videos or both the key markets that he is watching during the day. This will be up-to-the-date, active trading information that will help you in your daily trading. In Larry's first week alone, he sent out 25 charts, 6 videos, and a full report to his subscribers in just 1 week. If you're a technical trader that uses patterns and retracements to trade, then Larry's service Fibonacci 24/7 is something that you must try. Right now, new subscribers can get a full 30-day money-back guarantee. With nothing to risk, sign up now to Larry Pesavento's Fibonacci 24/7 by visiting the front page of TFNN.com under Trading Newsletters.
You're watching Tiger TV.